Good morning and welcome to For Fantasy's Sake, the Quad City's first and only fantasy football show. I am your host, Doug Your Own Grave Green. He is Chris Stabby Steele. And over there is DJ Monster Mash Jarvis. Boys, speaking of scary, I have been playing fantasy longer than both of you have been alive and definitely longer than you can do math because DJ still can't do math. I have never seen a week like what we're about to experience with so many guys out, just based upon buys, and then you throw in the injuries on top of that, and it got ugly really quick. So yeah, this is gonna be a rough one this week. I can't read DJ's sheet because I'm an old man and I've got bad eyesight. Let me blow up my screen like an old man would. Look at all of those names that are playing today. That is gross.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane. 4 top 10 quarterbacks, and then you throw Russ in there as well. 3 top 5 running backs. It's absolutely insane. I think with rough math, it's like 20% of the league is on a bye this week.
We are also this week sponsored by Mobile Party Experience, which I almost forgot for the third week in a row. Okay, we may continue now.
No, DJ's right. It's some rough math because it is rough out there. Doug, how did you not go with Spooky Steel? Come on.
Stabby is what popped in my head first. And let's face it, if anybody wants to stab DJ more than I do, it's you.
Okay. Well, I mean, Kirk Cousins probably hurts the most here because a lot of those guys, I think, were probably valued about where they should be. With Kirk Cousins, you could have got somebody like flying under the radar a little bit this year, I think, because everybody's waiting for him to turn back into Kirk Cousins. So the fact that he's missing this week really kind of does hamper people a little bit. Running back is a position I think you expect those injuries to happen. So around this time of year, you start looking at handcuffs, guys to try to get when there's going to be an injury, or once you hear there is an injury possibility, you jump on a guy. But right now, quarterback's a position that you expect because of the Tom Brady rules and things like that they've thrown in over the years, that your quarterback's going to at least survive. To have this many names at quarterback, other than Big Ben, who seems to have been injured in some sort of like brain injury several years ago and just cannot throw a football anymore more than 5 yards. I think that it's unexpected to see this many injuries at the quarterback position.
Yeah, and we still don't know the status of Dak. I haven't heard anything this week to know whether he's good, bad, or indifferent, but they're probably not going to tell you anything since they're on a bye. Probably going to wait until next week.
I did see this morning that they don't expect him to practice tomorrow. So coming out of the bye, first week of practice, or first day of practice, no Dak.
We also have Waller, who is a game time decision. So you could probably chuck him on this list too. And that's a one that can definitely hurt.
Yeah, it's sad. It's National Tight End Day and no Waller, no Kittle.
Aw, DJ gonna cry.
Yeah, DJ big sad.
DJ sad.
Was Trevor Lawrence really at the Bulls game last night?
Probably.
I was going to say, Stacey King shouted him out. He's like, are they on a bye? And I'm like, I looked at him. Sure enough, they're on a bye. So that may have well be Trevor Lawrence might have been at the Bulls game last night.
Well, at the same time, Trevor Lawrence saw the Bulls win more games than his team's going to win this year. So
that's the truth.
They have won.
Fine, same amount, DJ. The point remains.
It's because the Bulls have Io DeSumo.
Oh wow! Does he get off the bench, DJ?
Playing halfway decently.
There you go.
He's getting minutes. All right, this isn't a basketball show, though. I could talk about the Bulls all day just because they've been looking great.
Speaking of basketball show, it does look like Points in the Paint may be debuting this week, so we're excited for that.
Absolutely. Sam and Andrew do a fantastic job, and I held down the fort for the last part of the season last year. Sam is a wealth of basketball knowledge. Really knows his stuff over there. So if you do get a chance to pop in on that show and give that a listen, do highly recommend that because those guys are fantastic. Our two secondary shows are better than our primary show. Let's be honest. Our Monday Night Hammer, those guys are terrific. Our basketball show is terrific, and then we've got us three yahoos here on Sundays.
My tummy hurts, Doug.
So with it being National Tight End Day, I took a little liberties with my graphics on the rankings. So
Tight end isn't for another 4 segments.
Welcome to the day where Logan Thomas is on your quarterback rankings because he played quarterback in college and now he plays tight end in the NFL.
Quarterback is until next segment. By the way, no Brian this week. He's got other things going on, so no DFS this week.
Doug didn't send anybody the shot sheet, so I didn't know I was jumping the shot sheet here.
It says shared with the same people. You have been the same people since we started this 3 years.
I never looked at it. I figured Chris and I were going to carry the DFS segment. He and I even planned on it.
Okay, we can do that. We can call
I'm
it.
doing my research right
I
now.
was planning on going without it.
Yeah, let's quarterback it, Doug.
All right, that's fine. Mahomes at Tennessee, Kyler, blah, 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 Brady, Hurts. I have no problems with. Yeah, I do. I have a lot of problems with Tannehill at 6. Tannehill at 6? Are you drunk this morning?
It's a good matchup, but he's been trash the last 2 weeks.
It's a great matchup. I think that this is kind of the week. They were talking a little bit this week about how with play calling, his expected, like the analytics thing, they're only passing for touchdowns on 33% of their touchdowns. And with how their play calling goes, that should be at 56%. And so they feel like the positive regression is going to happen for Tannehill. And I feel like this is a super good week for that to happen against a team that's not very good at defense.
Oh, it hurts DJ's heart to say that.
I want to know how a team can have 33% touchdown ratio on their touchdown passes. How does that work, DJ? Like I said, still can't do math.
So 33% of their touchdowns are passes.
Okay.
And
right.
and the expected value is 56%.
He's going off the old
for
adage.
For fantasy community, the expected value is 100% because they have no running game and it's all Mahomes.
I was talking about Tennessee, though.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
Yeah. He's going off the old adage, Doug. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So obviously he's going to do better once he's taking those shots. All that's going to happen is that any pass that's thrown for Tennessee is going to get tackled at the 1, and then Derrick Henry is going to run it in. So what's the point of any of this?
That's true. Derrick Henry is a demon,
a god among men.
I think it's odd that you expect the Chiefs to tackle anyone. So,
well, fine. Their wide receivers will trip and fall out of bounds at the 1, and Derrick Henry will run it in after that.
Chipotle will back up on A.J. Brown at the 1 and have to run out so he can.
Who's Chipotle? Educate me.
Chipotle.
You know, the restaurant.
So the Chiefs, instead of dressing defensive players, dress a restaurant franchise out there now.
A.J. Brown's been having food related illnesses from eating Chipotle.
I hear that. I feel terrible today.
It's because we
don't eat there.
You ate that local Mexican-American joint for dinner.
No, that's not what did it. It was what I had yesterday, so.
Okay. All right. Page 2, Derek Carr, Daniel Jones, Tua, Fields, Heineke.
Who is this fat individual we're looking at who obviously didn't play quarterback?
It's college quarterback from the University of Cincinnati, Travis Kelce.
Pass. Oh, wait, he wouldn't have.
Yeah.
Rude.
All right, so let's talk about Fields. Okay, I'm going to say something controversial.
Hold on. With all those quarterbacks and on bye and hurt, you know, if I could, I would probably start Travis Kelce on my quarterback slot.
Okay, this is why I didn't want to wait. Okay, I'm going to say something controversial. I think you have Justin Fields too high.
Oh, poor Doug. He threw the ball very, very well last week, but he's not going to get very many opportunities again.
Yeah, he's a guy. At least the way that they're calling plays at this point of the season, in terms of fantasy value, real life quarterback, love him all day long. But in terms of fantasy value, this the way that they're game planning and stuff, you're not going to get a ton out of him. He's 150 to 200 yards, couple of touchdowns, maybe if you're lucky, and 7 or 8 scrambles for 40 yards. That's what you're getting.
So here's my question on that, Doug, is what one of these 17 through 24, like who are you, what, I guess 2 guys are you putting ahead? Probably maybe Mac Jones, but realistically, who else?
Probably Heineke. I would slide him down above Wentz and Goff. I'd put him at 18.
Heineke's been a train wreck the last 2 weeks too.
Yeah, he was really bad against Kansas City, and who's also really bad. So
and DJ is already established. Kansas City cannot tackle people, Doug. They can tackle franchises. Maybe they're gonna all be working at a Chipotle soon. The whole defense.
That's the biggest thing, Doug, is while Tua Justin Fields might be a little high, there's really nobody in that 17 through 24 that I'm like that really moves the needle for me.
Yeah, and
that's fair. You'd be wrong.
Daniel Jones, I think it could be due for a big week this week. He had 2 bad weeks in a row, but you look at the quality of those defenses, I even think he's a good DFS play because of how cheap he is. But I think Daniel Jones could be in the mix for a good turnaround. Like I said all season, the Panthers have a very underrated defense, and I know Jones is coming off of throwing 3 interceptions last week to go along with his fumble, but I think he's had 2 bad weeks in a row. There's no reason to think he can't return to form to that guy who is getting consistently 20-plus points a game. I think he's got something to prove, too, and I think that's what's going to draw out that good performance.
What, that he can trip over pieces of turf? He's already proven that.
No, he gets tripped by spooky ghosts, Doug. The steel spooky ghosts got him. We killed DJ again. Can't do it.
Yeah,
can't deal. The end of this list is scarier than it should be. Carson Wentz should probably be a little bit higher, but it's extra spooky at the bottom. We're scraping the bottom of the barrel.
That's horrifying. Terrifying.
How is Jared Goff not better?
They have a decent offensive line, and I guess maybe you could blame the weapons, but somebody's going to catch the quarterback.
Well, if Quintez Cephas is your best wide receiver, I think that's a problem.
No, it's the guy from
Amon-Ra
Museum, Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah, I know. But he's still a rookie, and we don't really expect rookies to go insane unless their name's Jamar Chase.
Yeah, I guess. All right. Well, we cut it off there. We'll head to break. You guys will talk DFS. I'll finish my Pop-Tarts.
And think about the offers in your inbox.
Yeah, Doug and DJ are very distracted today because DJ keeps sending Doug trades that he's not going to pay attention to. That's why DJ's so distracted.
Sponsored by Mobile Party Experience, the elite source for your tailgating needs in the Quad Cities. And what do football fanatics in the Quad Cities love more than Sunday football? Tailgating before, during, and after their favorite college football games, like when Illinois upended number 7 Penn State in 9 overtimes, the same Penn State that Iowa barely defeated at home. And Mobile Party Experience has the hookup for all your tailgating needs. Mobile Party Experience offers solutions for all types of party throwers and goers. They have towable trailers that offer music, TVs, gaming, private bathrooms with running water, flushable toilets, beverage dispensers, coolers, grills and utensils, tables, chairs, and tents. They have all the amenities you could want or need to host a tailgate party or event. Find them at their website, my-mpx.com, or on Facebook at Mobile Party Experience. Sunday's still the best day at Kavanaugh's Hilltop Bar and Grill. Your favorite jamokes aren't on the deck talking fantasy football, but they are still one of the best places in the Quad Cities for your football viewing pleasures. Their back deck is ready to go for late football season, and their sides are up and the heat is on to protect you from Mother Nature, where you can enjoy the Bears, Packers, or any of your favorite out-of-market teams. If outside isn't your thing, head on into their remodeled inside bar area and watch NFL Sunday Ticket on their numerous screens and play their adult video games. I hear they have the loosest slots in the Quad Cities. That's Kavanaugh's Hilltop Bar and Grill, 1228 30th Street in Rock Island, the non-bubble home of For Fantasy's Sake. Football season, well, we're about halfway through. And if you spend Sundays watching football anywhere but Van's Pizza Pub and Grill, you've been doing it wrong. Van's Pizza Pub and Grill, 3333 North Harrison Street in Davenport, is the best place to catch all your favorite games. And there's still time to make it part of your Sunday routine. Start your meal off with their famous McGuire's original nachos or bready nuggets. Then ask about one of their original QC-style pizzas. Or be your own quarterback and call an audible and create your own. The Vans crew will be sure your play call hits pay dirt every time. Vans Pizza Pub and Grill, 3333 North Harrison Street in Davenport. Come get served.
Penn State in regulation.
What?
Iowa beat Penn State in regulation.
Yeah,
that's better than 9 overtimes.
9 overtimes. 9 overtimes, Chris.
I know. They're just looking to make history, just like they tried against Michigan when they took them to 3 overtimes, and both of those teams were terrible.
Well, and now Penn State is history. See what I did there? Tripped over my words and everything.
Yep, good.
All
just
right,
like Daniel Jones.
Womp, 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 womp,
Wow.
So Chris, what are you thinking DFS wise this week? Is there somebody who really stuck out at you as you were setting your lineups?
The fact that Khalil Herbert is still so low when the Bears want to run the ball like 30 times a game was really surprising to me. To have him around 5,200, I don't know why like DraftKings isn't buying into him yet, but I think that makes a ton of sense that he is somebody that you get on the cheap and you use that money to buy up on running backs, because if you look at the running back like stock this week, they're just all over the place and nobody is there to really grab late value with other than Herbert.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I was kind of just noticing there's a good amount of value that you're going to probably want to get in on.
I think a guy at the running back position that I'm actually kind of interested in, the cheap wise, is J.D. Mckissick. Green Bay hasn't been great covering guys out of the backfield. I know I expected Mckissick to be big last week against Kansas City and kind of fell flat. But I think McKissick sitting at 5,000, that's an interesting start as well.
Looking at the quarterback position, I was kind of surprised Matt Ryan went as low as he did. Around 5,700. He's put up 2 really good games in a row. I think that's one where you could definitely find some value there because it's all the regular guys. And then you keep scrolling and all of a sudden there's Matt Ryan for no reason.
I think that's where you can kind of get a little goofy and you stack like a Matt Ryan, Calvin Ridley together. That's just over $12,000. And then maybe bring it back with like Mike Gesicki or a Myles Gaskin, or even if you're feeling goofy, a Jalen Waddle.
Jalen Waddle was another one that I really thought was a good value because he's coming off a week last week where he had 2 touchdowns, put up some good yards too. I think it was like 70 yards, but his value is still low. I think it's because there's so much fluctuation there with the quarterback position in Miami, but he's been fantastic all season. Like I kind of said it a little earlier, you don't really expect anybody to go nuts at the wide receiver position during their rookie year, but he's been fantastic, and so has Jamar Chase. So either one of those guys, if you want to come back and grab them, I think that's a good play overall. And since it's tight end day, DJ, you've got to have some tight ends for us.
So I really do like Gesicki at 47. Atlanta has given up the 15th most points to opposing tight ends. Also, Goddard's a very interesting thing coming off the COVID list against Vegas. I would be tempted to go Andrews at 6,000. He's 1,600 less than Kelsey, who's by far the top tight end. He's $900 more than he's $900 more than Waller, who has a chance not to play.
Yeah, that's scary.
As far as like deep dives, if you're willing to get burnt by Seals Jones, he does reward the, he caught a touchdown last week against the Chiefs, so that'd be an interesting thing. OJ Howard's been getting a lot more looks with no Gronk, and he's sitting down there at 3,400, and going cheap at tight end does offer you a lot of flexibility otherwise. I'm still a believer in Ingram, who is questionable with a calf injury, but he was able to get a limited practice in on Friday. And they're playing Carolina, and I don't know. I feel like eventually we're going to get that Evan Ingram bounce back week.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of, that situation where I think you get to like Ertz at 3,900, Seals Jones at 37, Ingram at 36, even OJ Howard at 34. Even if they don't blow up this week, you're spending such a low value on them where you can go up and get, two other top guys in your lineup this week.
Yeah, I never understand why Mike Gesicki is so low every single week. It seems like you look at the targets that he's had the last couple of weeks. It's 9 targets last week, 2 weeks ago 7, 3 weeks ago 6, 4 weeks ago 12. Previous week was 6. So I mean, you just look at, he's consistently getting looks. He's got 1 touchdown, but I would think that would probably continue to go up if he's getting that many targets at the tight end position, especially because a tight end is a bad quarterback's best friend. So ideally, no matter who the quarterback is in Miami, they're going to be bad. They're going to be throwing to Gesicki. So I think that's one that's going to be really good there. I also think that Jacoby Myers is a great play as well, because Jacoby Myers is one of the best targets that they have there. He's coming off of a pretty bad week, but he's still got 44 yards on 6 receptions. Previous week was 5 targets, 4 receptions as well for 56 yards. Go back 3 weeks ago and 4 weeks ago, he got 12 targets and then 14 targets. So obviously the target share is going to be there when they decide they want to chuck the ball. That could be this week.
You know who I feel like is a must play is Chris Godwin. He's sitting at 59. He's one of those guys that you can kind of squeeze in your lineup. And as you know, the Bears have been kind of up and down of their ability to cover. And no Antonio Brown this week. Obviously no Gronk. I know that they play 2 different positions, but I think Godwin's a guy you really want to give a look to.
You want to look for the guy who's going to beat him over the top, because that's what's going to happen, is that Eddie Jackson is going to be chasing a butterfly over on the side of the field, and all of a sudden there's a guy running down the field like completely wide open. If that's going to happen this week, it's going to be Godwin. I kind of like the matchup that the Jets have this week too with New England, because New England doesn't put up a ton of yards, and the Jets are pretty good at getting the quarterback. I know Mac Jones's whole thing is get the ball out quick. He leads the league in like time to throw. So he's going to get the ball out quick, but at the same time, this Jets team doesn't really give up a whole lot of points, and they're going against a pretty favorable matchup in New England. So I think that's a good play if you're looking to get something on the cheap.
As far as like the Atlanta situation, are you trusting? I know that Doug hates Mike Davis, and he'd come in here and tell you how bad Mike Davis is.
I hate Mike Davis too.
Okay, so you're not trusting him in a lineup.
Don't forget me.
52.
I love Cordero. I think he's a great player. And I'm going to shy away from saying anything about Mike Davis because my opinions are very well known on Mike Davis that I don't think he can fall forward. So I do not trust him at all. I would pay up at running back this week because I just don't like the look of anybody after a certain point, probably after Chuba Hubbard. It's just a big fall off from there. And the prices are just about the same if you look at it. I mean, Josh Jacobs is going for 6,200, Chuba 6,100, and then you get Deandre Swift, who's been a bit of a disappointment this year. I think it's mostly due to an injury of some kind. They're continuing to mess up his touches, which doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. They treat him like a scat back instead of the running back that he is, and they should actually give him the ball and let him work. That's what indicates to me that there has to be some kind of injury there that we don't know about yet. The other one, go ahead.
It's the murder charges.
That was one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen happen, where it just caught fire online and it became a thing when it was definitely not a thing. Darrell Williams, for your boys, how are you feeling about that situation, DJ?
It's goofy for me because
DJ just told us how he really feels because he sighed immediately having to say something nice about him.
No, it's just goofy for me because, you know, there's a reason why he was been the third string running back. And I think that there's other guys on the roster that fit the offense a little bit better. But at the same time is the Chiefs have kind of gone to, we're not going to, you know, throw it 90 yards downfield every single play. And that's part of the reason they succeeded a little bit more last week against Washington. And I'm not going to get too far in Chiefs kingdom here, but I do think that's part of,
You just did.
I think that's part of why the defense played better last week. I know it was Washington, but the offense also stayed on the field. And so I think that people really underrate the exhaustion factor on a defense when a team's going out there scoring on 4 plays, or a team's going out there and turning the ball over on 4 plays, you know? So the defense is just out there all the time. So I think that hold on to the ball might be better. But back to Darrell Williams is pay for him while he's still there, because CEH, you know, if he was at a lower value, you'd be playing him, you know, and he was rushing for 100 yards a game and catching a couple of passes. So
like we talked about earlier, it looked like Khalil Herbert was undervalued. Do you think that people are depending on Damien Williams just coming back and getting his spot back with the Bears? I don't think that's the case.
They were saying on the worldwide leader this morning that the Bears were going to be full go and Damien Williams was ready to play.
Yeah. I mean,
so
he's going to be ready to play. I think he lost his spot, though, is my thing.
I completely understand that. Yeah, I'd be – and on that note too, Chris, is do you know anything about Tariq Cohen?
I've heard that he is not going to come off of IR as expected. They said that he is practicing again and he looks slow. So he's not where he needs to be right now. Okay. I'm still stashing him on my IR just to see what happens there, because that's a player that this offense definitely needs, because they can't complete a screen pass. And that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. But they need a player who is going to be dynamic and can take one to the house if he gets free. The Bears don't have that right now. It's been difficult to get the ball to Mooney. I think that's something that they're going to try to do more of. A name that caught my eye is Damien Harris. Damien Harris had a very good game last week against a Dallas team that's decent on defense. I know it's weird to say, but they have been better this year. I think Damien Harris is a good play if you take a look at his matchup this week going against New England. New England's like 29th against running backs. So I think that's a really good, solid play if you're looking to pull somebody low.
And I know that Brian and I talk about this every week. Are you into stacking guys, or do you just kind of see where value is and try to identify where the majority of the points are going to come from?
I mean, I like stacking players, but at the same time, if you have one player burn out on you, you're going to have two players burn out on you. So I'm
Right.
not a big fan of the stack as much as other people are. I kind of just want to look for the value out there. And once I do find the value, that's going to let me have one of the big home run hitters in my lineup, like a Derrick Henry.
Okay. And before we get to break, I know Doug's looking at his watch right now, even though he's not on screen. Defensively, are you paying the 5,000 for the Rams, or are you scooting down to the Bucks at 4 or even the Panthers at 35?
I wouldn't do the Bucks for sure because their secondary is so beat up that I wouldn't rule out this being a week where Justin Fields goes crazy and has a big game.
Okay.
At the same time, that's going to be a running situation probably. It kind of makes sense, but I wouldn't pay for it. I wouldn't pay up for the Rams right now either. I would kind of take a look at the Bears because the Bears are sacking quarterbacks at a rate we haven't seen from any team right now. They're not getting a lot of turnovers, but they're getting to the quarterback. Now, that could be a bad situation again this week because it's going to depend on whether or not Khalil Mack's 100%. It's going to depend on if their other outside rusher is going to continue to play, because I think that was questionable too. So the Bears could be one situation where it might be a good week for them. Brady gets the ball out fast, so maybe the rush isn't going to get there. And I'm kind of talking myself out of it now because if Brady gets the ball out quick, that's going to negate their value when they get sacks.
Mm-hmm.
And if they can't get sacks, they can't get turnovers either. So I think that you kind of just take a look at some teams that might be in a good situation and just go from there. There's nobody that really caught my eye as being a fantastic option. Maybe Arizona going against Houston, because you could put Budda Baker just kind of freelancing out there to double cover Cooks, and then it's game over after that. You have a quarterback who can't throw trying to beat you.
All right, so we'll go to commercial in the back half. We'll talk about running backs, and Doug will be back to keep us on time. So, with 5 locations within the Quad City area, Ray's Barbershop has provided first-class service, haircutting, and shave since 2010. Ray's Barbershop has been voted the Quad City's favorite barbershop year after year. Ray's takes tremendous pride in their work in maintaining the fine art of classic meets modern barbering. Ray's goes above and beyond to make sure your client's level of satisfaction is met. You won't find the Ray's experience anywhere else. Located in the Belgium neighborhood of 7th Street in Moline, Clint's Draft House Pizza and Grill is home to the Quad City's best food and drink specials. On Sundays, there's no better place to be. Clint's is serving up 75-cent wings and $4 Bloody Marys all day. And your favorite team playing in those out-of-market games, you'll never miss a second of the action on one of their 10 screens with NFL Sunday Ticket. And after you've had your wing and bloody fix, finish off your football watching experience with one of their famous Quad City-style pizzas. And folks, they know pizza. They've been spinning QC-style pies for the last 22 years. So make Clint part of your Sunday football routine. Clint's Draft House Pizza and Grill, 7th Street in Moline. Who doesn't need a solid handcuff on their fantasy squad? Grab a bite to eat at Clint's Draft House while watching the noon games, and then head on over across the Moline Rock Island border to the corner tap for some libations during the 3 o'clock games. Every Sunday is fun day at the corner with $3 Tall Boys, Bloody Marys, Jack Daniels, and $2 PBR drafts. Head into the corner tap, 4018 14th Avenue, Rock Island, and get into the end zone.
So, hey, I'm back. Hey, Deej.
Sir.
You want to get into a little Tom Brady bashing?
Yes, absolutely. But what about the trades that I offered you?
I rejected them all.
Oh, they were good offers.
Not really.
The calculator said so.
Yeah.
And they're all guys on 1-year deals. You're going to have to lose one of them.
Yeah. So I still want the value for it. All right. So one, Mr. Tom Brady this week was feeling like he was going to talk a little smack. And he said, because this is the first time that he has faced an Ohio State quarterback in his career, evidently. And he's like, you see Michigan guys all the time. So I decided to look to see how many Michigan quarterbacks are in the NFL currently. Give me a number, Deej. How many Michigan quarterbacks do you think are in the NFL right now?
Does that include backups?
That includes backups. Total number of Michigan quarterbacks in the NFL as of today.
2, Brady and Jake Luton.
2, Brady and yeah, there was 2. I think the other one said Henny, but I think he's out of the league. But there's only 2.
He was a backup in Kansas City, and he's not anymore. So
yeah. Maybe the article I was looking at was from like last year.
That's
or something.
interesting.
They are, but yeah, there's only 2, and he's out here talking smack like Michigan guys are running around all over the place, and they are not. In fact, any top Michigan quarterback lists are always the same 3. They are Brady, Greasy, and Harbaugh. And I am old enough to see all of them.
So we're looking at college. My curiosity. Obviously, Oklahoma's probably 1. And I only say that because I can name 2 off the top of my head. But I'm trying to think of like other places that have 2 quarterbacks starting.
Oh, I'm sure it's something like, well, Alabama's got 3 currently.
Well, if you count Hurts at Alabama, but yeah. No,
yeah.
So yeah, Mac Jones, Tua, and Hurts, but you could also count Hurts as Oklahoma, and that puts them at 3. So, anywho.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know what happened to Chris, but let's take a look at the running backs. But yeah, I just wanted to engage in a little Brady bashing. There this week, Derrick Henry is number 1 by a country mile. Aaron Jones, Kamara, Taylor Swift, nice. Henderson, Patterson, Mixon, Fournette, Chuba, Williams, and Jacobs. Ooh, it did not take long to get to the ugly end of this, did it?
Yeah, it got kind of ugly very quickly. Very quickly.
Now, I heard you guys talking about
Doug listened.
I did listen. I was busy looking up Tom Brady facts.
Teddy Bridgewater
DJ's trade offers.
Teddy Bridgewater went to Louisville, right?
Yes.
So that's 2 for them as well.
Louisville.
As you were.
It's probably like Georgia guys is probably what you're thinking of. So there's Stafford and
Justin Fields.
Yes.
Boo.
Technically.
Hey, they started a bad quarterback over him. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Probably. Okay. I know you guys were talking about the Bears running back situation, but I'm surprised they aren't a little bit higher here. Are you scaring off of them based upon the Tampa Bay run defense?
Well, not only that, but like I told Chris, I'm kind of curious about what they're going to do with Damien Williams coming back this week. So I'm kind of curious what the split's going to look like there.
I think that you shouldn't even really worry about the split because that's something that I kind of thought about when the Rams came to play the Bucs. And I was like, okay, I'm going to bet the under on Sony Michel because it was at like 60. And I was like, there's no way he gets more than 10 touches in this game. There's no way he gets 60 yards against this defensive front because they are great. And Vita Vea is probably one of the best defensive tackles in the game. So Sony Michel still went for like 70 or 80 yards off of just like 12 touches. So it's doable. And I think Herbert makes a lot more sense as a first down runner than Williams does. So it could be a situation where Williams provides some value to you because the Bears are probably going to get behind in this game. Once they're behind, then they're going to have to use him in the passing game a little bit. But they're not going to screen it to anybody, Doug, because the Bears can't do that. And so that kind of negates his value there too, because you're not going to get one of those busted plays where he gets 25 yards.
Yeah, I don't know why they have the skill people to do screens. They just choose not to, which is weird.
Yeah, it's very weird.
Before I carry it on to the next slide, let's recognize the person on the graphic, Mr. One George Kittle, who was drafted into the NFL as a fullback.
Quarterback.
Tight end one.
Can't even stay on the field.
Oh,
Oh,
you're mean, DJ. I like Elijah Mitchell. I don't think that Trey Sermon did enough to take his spot. And I think last week really showed you that Mitchell is going to be their top running back going forward here the rest of the year.
I think the guy that I really look at here is Antonio Gibson. I think a lot of us were expecting him to be in that upper echelon of backs this year. And I know a lot of people were saying, considering him as a top 2-3 pick and even dynasty startups, and he's just not been very good. I know he's been hampered with injury all year, but he's just been really disappointing.
Their team also doesn't have a quarterback either, so that's the other problem there.
we had that discussion last week without Chris about Chase Edmonds, and then I saw this week he's something like running back 6 or running back 9 overall this year. So he's clearly way too low, especially on this wasteland of a week 7.
I love what he does. I think he's a really undervalued player overall. Devontae Booker up here, DJ. What you got to explain yourself right now?
Being too high or too low?
Being too high, being on a list at all.
Well, I mean, he is going to get the carries for the Giants, and the majority of the carries, they don't really have another guy behind him at this point.
He exists as a player who plays football, and so he's on a list here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Okay. But you were just talking about J.D. Mckissick and how he might be a good play this week, but you've got Devontae Booker ahead of him.
DFS play. DFS.
Oh, okay. Okay. But Devontae Booker's bad at football.
Qualify.
So you don't like Alex Collins? Is there a reason for that?
They used a lot of DJ Dallas last week.
Yeah, I was surprised.
Especially in passing downs. And so it's really hard to trust a guy more than an RB2 that doesn't see the ball a whole lot.
Yeah.
In passing downs.
I don't understand why James Conner continues to get touches there, because I do like Edmonds a lot more than that. And I know you got to spell a guy to try to get him through the season a little bit. But, man, if Chase Edmonds is this good, why isn't he getting the ball every time?
Yeah. I agree.
Good input.
Yeah, that was fabulous. All right, next slide. Michael Carter.
Must disagree with you?
Nope.
No, we just think you're terrible. All right.
Michael Carter is going to definitely be touchdown dependent. You look at how many touches he's getting around 10 touches a game, but he's averaging maybe 3 yards a carry or something ridiculous like that. He's got to fall into the end zone if he's going to be any value to anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not even sure what a Ramondre Stevenson is.
And he is inactive, so the team he plays for, the Patriots, have ruled him inactive. And I do want to recognize Mr. Kyle Juszczyk, fullback, who's an honorary tight end, and then Mr. Alec Ingold.
Who?
Kyle Juszczyk, one of the only 3 active players in the NFL from Harvard.
Juszczyk should be on this running back list somewhere, the way they've been using him.
I won't disagree with that.
He should be right there at 30 above David.
What has Hines done this year, DJ, that keeps you ranking him so high?
You think that's high?
I think that's high for him.
You think that's high with 10 or 8 teams not ranked this week?
I understand, but Hines has been terrible this year, DJ. He cannot catch, and that's all he does. He had 1 week where he fell into the end zone, and he scored 13.9 points. Other than that, he's gone negative 0.9 last week. Or I'm sorry, 3 weeks ago, then 1.8, then 2.2. So why?
I mean, he's still been playing a large amount of snaps, and I think that things even themselves out. And I don't think I agree with you. I don't think that he's a guy that you really trust. But at this point, we're getting into flexi guys.
Yeah.
And the fact, like I said, the fact that he plays snaps and a big percentage of snaps makes me feel like he's a guy that is going to get positive regression.
I like Gainwell's ability. I just don't think they trust him enough to give him the ball on a consistent basis.
I don't think they trust Miles Sanders enough to give him.
Yes, that is also correct and gross. All right, lettuce, cabbage, spinach, and other vegetable greens. Let us move to the commercial that thankfully I don't have to read because I can no longer speak. And then on the other side of that, we will talk whatever position is up next. Wide receivers.
You know what lettuce and cabbage isn't good on? Pizza. And you know what? Bad Boys Pizza isn't hard to find. Now serving in 3 different locations, Moline, Davenport, and downtown Davenport at River Music Experience. Their restaurant and bar stays open late, not only on weekends, but weekdays too. Bad Boy specializes in Quad City style pizza and daily specials, so be sure to keep an eye out for those. They also offer food carryout and pizza delivery options at your convenience. They have a full bar at all 3 locations with 24 taps in Moline, 32 taps in Davenport, and 20 taps in downtown Davenport. They also host exciting events such as Quad City Storm parties, NFL Sunday ticket giveaways, and other sports viewing parties. Bad Boys always has the coldest beer, and the atmosphere is always welcoming. For great people, drinks, and Quad City style pizza, choose Bad Boys. Durham Remodeling has been serving the Quad Cities area since 1973. With nearly 50 years of excellence on their track record, you'll see why it's so easy to trust their experts when it comes to all your home improvement projects. Durham Remodeling's work is 100% guaranteed, so you can rest assured that you're getting the best service around. Call 309-786-6715 for all your roofing, siding, flooring, windows, and painting needs. That's Durham Remodeling, 309-786-6715. It's Sunday Fun Day over at Frick's. Iowa's second oldest bar is guaranteed to have your favorite team on one of their 13 TV screens with NFL Sunday Ticket. Get on into Frick's now, where they will be joined by Smoked Out Smokehouse every Sunday. And boy, does that menu look great. Barbecue smoked ribs, pork chops, wings, you name it. You can get it during your football game over at Frick's.
We got him.
So for Frick's sake, head into Frick's Tap, 1402 West 3rd Street, Davenport.
We've broken DJ. That was fun.
When the commercials come on, that's when the games begin.
Oh, by the way, yeah, no, never mind. Just never mind.
Debo at 10. That's really high. Jamar Chase at 8. Brown. AJ Brown actually going to play this week? He's got to be only at 85%.
Yeah, no, they said he was definitely going to play even if he had to poop his pants.
Okay, well, he's probably going to do that.
Well, Julio Jones probably did that too. Julio Jones is having to wear a diaper out there because he looks like he's in a retirement home of some kind.
Yeah.
I think with Jimmy G back at quarterback, that does elevate Samuel's value there.
And it's Nuke Revenge Week, so he should probably even be above Devontae.
It is Nuke Revenge Week.
Also start J.J. Watt for the same reason.
And obviously, and Antonio Brown now inactive since I've made these slides. So what's up, Chris?
With Terry McLaurin, why are you still believing in him when his quarterback's this bad, DJ? You think he's just going to break out again? Or do you think teams have kind of figured out how to take advantage of the fact that there's a guy who can't get him the ball?
I don't know why you hate St. Louis Battlehawks legend Taylor Heineke so much.
Probably because he put up an 8 and like a 4 the last 2 weeks for fantasy totals. That might be why.
You just always besmirch his name.
Oh,
That's the second time this week you've used besmirched, and I'm still not sure you're using them correctly, but I was shocked the first time I saw that come across the text.
It's his word-a-day calendar, Doug.
That's what it's got to be.
So last week against a porous Kansas City defense, like Terry McLaurin got 8 targets, 4 catches, 28 yards. So I think we're seeing a trend here. Going back 2 weeks, he got 11 targets, 4 catches, but you can chalk that up to New Orleans being really good. I think it's just becoming a normal thing that we're going to have to worry about Terry because of the quarterback he has.
Terry, his production is scary, McLaurin?
Yeah. It'd be nice if his production was scary. His targets are good, but his production not so scary.
Yeah.
Next slide.
Oh, by the way, Darren Waller, Georgia Tech wide receiver.
Georgia Tech, where they throw it like twice a year. Okay. Like Evans, Woods, Cooks.
Too many
Metcalf, Brown, Devontae, Sterling Shepard, I think is out this week.
Yep, inactive.
Waddle, Lockett, T. Higgins, Pittman, Jacoby Myers.
Probably got to drop Hollywood Brown because he's going to drop the ball on you. So got to beat him to the punch.
I haven't really liked what I've seen out of Cincinnati's defense this year when I've been able to watch them. At least their corners. And Brown has been decent in the majority of the games this year. And this might be I think he's even like a top 10 wide receiver this year.
Yeah, usually drops don't bother me, but his drops and how awful they've been, those really have bothered me. I'm worried about it.
You complain about drops all the time.
Probably. That's probably very true.
You complain about it with Allen Robinson. You complain about it with Mike Evans. Complain about it with Mike Davis.
No, I worry about Mike Evans because he's a boomer bust just for you, Doug. A boomer bust.
Boomer bust.
Yeah.
Because you guys are both old.
It's funny because DJ's getting as old as we are.
I know.
I know. It's rough. It's rough.
What is DK with these fellows, DJ? Why isn't he higher?
Gino.
I guess.
A mix between Gino and how, like you touched on, how good New Orleans' defense is.
Yeah, especially the secondary.
Yeah, both. I feel like both Metcalf and Locke would normally see higher, but New Orleans' defense is pretty darn good. I think this is definitely a week where if I owned Tyler Lockett, I would think about not owning Tyler Lockett, especially if he was only on my team for another year and I have, just a couple of wins through 7
I already
years.
rejected it. Don't bother.
So the thing I'm going to be interested in is Cincinnati's run defense is really fantastic, and they're going up against a Baltimore team that likes to run the ball. So I think that's going to be an interesting matchup, and they might even be forcing some passes to Brown here in this game. So you might be onto something, DJ. That might be a good play.
And he's real fast.
Yeah, you got to be fast and catch the ball. It doesn't help you if you're fast and you're behind everybody and then it hits you in the hands and you drop it.
Yeah, and if you're Tyreek Hill, it hits your hands and then the other team catches it, and then Patrick Mahomes gets an interception.
That's nice.
And then his mommy complains about it on.
And his brother. Don't forget about his brother. Is it his brother who keeps throwing fits, or who is that?
His brother's the one who danced on.
And so on this slide is
Get a nerve, Doug.
no, his brother's very annoying.
What about T. Higgins, DJ? He has kind of disappeared as Jamar Chase has emerged. So do you think there's still value in T. Higgins at this point, or are you looking to move on?
I'm probably in Dynasty. I'm probably looking to go somewhere else. He was inactive weeks 3 and 4, and then really hasn't done anything since coming back. He got a 2-point conversion against Green Bay, but it was 5 catches, 32 yards, and then last week 3 for 44. Burrow's definitely looking for Chase a lot, and he's also looking at their running backs, and so that kind of limits where Higgins is at. So I wouldn't, I'd be looking maybe to move him in Dynasty, but season long, I don't know that I'd cut him, but he would definitely find my bench.
Gotcha.
Next page before you mute me again.
And this slide is Oregon wide receiver, now New Orleans tight end, Juwan Johnson.
Who?
There's your boys.
Doug and I are desperately trying to figure out who this is.
Oh, well, that's Kyle Pitts.
That's Kyle Pitts.
Oh.
That was the one I got, even when I saw him in the emails. I was like, I know this one. All right. Robinson, Mooney, Boyd, Davis, Renfro, Ruggs. You're just DJ.
DJ just ties the Bears wide receivers together every week.
This week, he's not even bothering separating them out.
Nope. I think Mooney is just based on the targets. He's more of the valuable play right now, and especially probably in Dynasty as well. I think he's a good guy to keep on your bench until Fields kind of figures it out. Once that happens, I think Mooney's going to be a player who threatens to be in the top 10, probably around a top 25 player every year, just based on his ability to run routes and his speed overall. I think he's scary good. He's kind of just he's waiting right now for the rest of the team to catch up to him.
Chris, we were kind of talking about this last week, is what are you doing with Allen Robinson?
I think you trade him right now because he's no value to you this year. But if you're looking to get some value out of him, you buy while he's low right now. And once he's on a different team next year, you expect that bounce back season where he's going to be huge.
Yeah, that's fair.
Allen Robinson's talent doesn't fit these guys around him.
Fair. All right. What do we think about Rondale Moore? Is he going to resurrect himself this week?
I don't know. I think Christian Kirk has kind of found his stride with this offense, and he is making a lot more sense than Rondale Moore at this point, probably because Rondale Moore still has a couple things that he needs to learn. But overall, Christian Kirk has been fantastic these last couple of weeks. Just looking back at what he's done, he had 75 yards and a touchdown last week on 8 targets against Cleveland, who has a very good secondary. The week before, he had 5 targets, 39 yards. The week before, kind of and then back to the game against Jacksonville, he had 8 targets, 104 yards. So he's been solid when they're looking his way.
True. Yeah. He's the guy who I've always kind of liked. He just didn't seem to be getting the opportunities there in Arizona, and looks like this year's finally the year he's finally put it all together down there. The ghost of AJ Green is still wandering around.
He was a guy I was interested in maybe stacking with Kyler Murray this week. So But I think we're going to see a lot of targets go Hopkins' way.
Oh, absolutely. And then Marquez Callaway if you're truly, truly low-key desperate.
Which you might be.
Yeah.
Probably. There's probably a lot of people low-key desperate out there.
Yeah, like trying to trade for wide
Nicole
receivers
Hardman.
to start this week. Yeah.
Yeah. See, you should have tried to trade for him. I would have happily given him up.
Is he on your roster?
Think so.
Never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down.
And
Gonna
Chris is
trade
now
your
officially
ass
Rick Williams.
off my bench. Yeah. Go.
Oh,
I do want to point out that DJ's columns actually are all lined up this week.
they're lined up.
Yay.
I think it's the way you share them, Doug.
I share them the same way you share them.
No, you don't. You share them through Safari. I share them through the better elite Google Chrome.
Okay, you take that traffic or that energy hog, and you keep doing that. Okay, is that the end of this segment? That seems to be the end of this segment.
With 5 locations within the Quad Cities area, Ray's Barbershop has provided first-class service, haircutting, and shave since 2010. Ray's Barbershop has been voted the Quad Cities' favorite barbershop year after year. They take tremendous pride in their work in maintaining the fine art of classic meets modern barbering. Ray's goes above and beyond to make sure our clients' level of satisfaction is met. You won't find the Ray's experience anywhere else. Located in the Belgium neighborhood of 7th Street in Moline, Clint's Draft House Pizza and Grill is home of the Quad Cities' best food and drink specials. On Sundays, there's no better place to be. Clint is serving up 75-cent wings and $4 Bloody Marys all day. And your favorite team playing in those out-of-market games? You'll never miss a second of the action on one of their 10 screens with NFL Sunday Ticket. And after you've had your wing and bloody fix, finish off your football watching experience with one of their famous Quad City style pizzas. And folks, they know pizza. They've been spinning QC style pies for the last 22 years. So make Clint's part of your Sunday football routine. Clint's Draft House Pizza and Grill, 7th Street in Moline. Who doesn't need a solid handcuff on their fantasy squad? Grab a bite to eat at Clint's Draft House while watching the noon games, and then head on over across the Moline Rock Island border to the corner tap for some libations during the 3 o'clock games. Every Sunday is fun day at the corner with $3 tall boys, Bloody Marys, Jack Daniels, and $2 PBR drafts. Head into the corner tap, 4018 14th Avenue, Rock Island, and get into the end zone. Oh.
4, as in, how many downs there are in a possession, unlike Mr. Brady, who thought there was 5 last year.
What happened?
Remember last year during that game that the Bears beat the Bucks, and Brady thought that it was 4th down, but it was really 5th down?
Yeah.
Yeah, just like that.
All right, so inactives. For the Panthers, what?
Chris is currently.
For fantasy sake, Chris Steele. For the Panthers, fantasy relevant guys, no Terrence Marshall. He has a concussion. The Giants, no, this is a whew. For the Giants, no Barkley, no Kenny Galladay, no Kadarius Toney, and no Sterling Shepard. The Jets, no Tyler Kroft, no Tevin Coleman. Patriots, no, as we said before, no Ramondre Stevenson. The Chiefs are without Anthony Hitchens, who is the worst run defense linebacker in the entire NFL. The Titans, no Taylor Lewan. That's a big one. Big for the Chiefs is Chris Jones is active for the first time in 3 weeks. Washington football team, no Curtis Samuel, no Brandon Sheriff. The Packers, Kevin King, Vernon Scott, Dennis Kelly, Jack Heflin, the pride of Prophetstown, Illinois, and no Preston Smith.
No Prophetstown? DJ got away with getting rid of Prophetstown?
I did. The Falcons, nobody of fantasy relevance. Dolphins, no Devontae Parker. He was kind of on the fence, what they call questionable.
That's another term for it.
The Bengals have no Mike Thomas. The Ravens, no Latavius Murray, no Sammy Watkins. So maybe a little bit of a run for one Tyson Williams. obviously, like we talked before, make sure to keep an eye out for Darren Waller. He's in the 3:00 games, but it looks like he's probably not going to end up playing. So,
yeah, you saw that like injury status keep sliding as the week went on. So I'm thinking that's a no-go.
I would
slide.
Yeah, I would definitely look out for that. The inactives come out an hour and a half before the game. Other guys, maybe obviously Hawkinson would be owned. What are you guys doing with Waller? Because you likely don't have a backup to him.
I likely don't have Waller because somebody in the one league is hoarding all of the tight ends.
You obviously don't have maybe. Is there a tight end? Like, are you trying to, if Komet's on the waiver wire, are you going to grab him? Maybe an OJ Howard. That's the one thing that really stinks about the 325 time slot is it's a very shallow position. So
Komet doesn't exist in that Bears offense, and Jimmy Graham is out this week, but Jimmy Graham could have been out all the previous weeks, and we would not have known about that. So that's not going to change very much.
But the big question is, if you're a Waller manager, are you just benching him if you have a tight end that plays at noon?
I think you go and you get OJ Howard, like you said, DJ.
Yeah.
I think you go pick him up right now. Just protect yourself, get some points on the board more than anything.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anybody at that like 3:30 slot or 3:00 start, whatever, that is going to bring you any value whatsoever. You just got to get points on the board at this point.
So maybe even like a Max Williams if he's out there, or like I said, Komet, one of those guys.
Or Will Dissly, maybe.
Yeah. Or I don't know.
Let's just keep naming guys who are bad at football.
San Francisco, I mean, if Ross Dwelly is a free agent,
yeah,
that's an interesting thing. I'm lucky enough to have enough tight ends in the league that I have Waller and that he's a flex, so I'm able to bounce it out for a late receiver, or I might end up going Dwelly. I haven't really decided.
Oh, DJ, look at how good my team is.
I have Kelsey, Kittle, and Waller in that league, Chris.
Oh, DJ, I'm backing up Waller with TJ Hawkinson, so
that's not bad.
Yeah, it's fine.
So, are you starting? Is Hawkinson in the noon slot?
Yep, definitely. Oh no, he's actually at the 3:00. He's got the Rams, which is a bad matchup, and Hawkinson has been bad since probably week 2 or 3. Yeah, it's ever since week 2, he's really dropped off. Last week he had a good week against Cincinnati, 11 targets, 74 yards. Prior to that, he just kind of has disappeared, and he's been dealing with an injury too. That's right. It might be just like a Detroit thing where everybody we expect to be good is injured constantly on that team. So looking back the last 3 weeks prior to the Cincinnati game, he scored 2.2 points, 4.2 points, 1 point. So I would not trust Hawkinson to be this elite guy while he has that questionable status. He's going to play, but how much of a factor is he going to be?
Right.
Hey, DJ, I got one. Noah Fant.
What do you guys expect out of Zach Ertz this week?
Yeah, I was thinking, like we talked about last week, about how Arizona didn't have that elite option, and they went out and got Ertz while he's no longer that top tier of tight end. He can be very valuable.
Yeah,
that's half-assing it right out of your mouth. Yeah,
I think you could see Zach Ertz become a viable tight end 1 option, like a guy you're starting every single week.
You think so? Really?
It's a shallow position.
Doug, we saw Gronk come back from the dead and get into the top 10 for tight ends last year.
Yeah, but Gronk is like one of the greatest tight ends of all time.
Ertz he got a chance to get his head right.
I think we're kind of underrating that span of time when I mean, people were putting Ertz in that conversation with, is he one of the better tight ends in the league?
Yeah, he was getting up there for a time to be in the conversation with like a Kelsey and Kittle.
Yeah.
He was
and
the
then
outside
Dallas
looking
Goddard
in.
showed up and it went poof.
Yeah, now Dallas Goedert doesn't play for the Arizona Cardinals.
I don't know.
It is a bit of a jump, but at the same time, I get what you're saying, DJ. There's going to be value there. Looking at their depth chart, there are no other tight ends on that team. I think Hunter Henry is turning it around a little bit. I'm excited about what he can do now that New England has decided to throw him the ball. So I think that could be somebody that may not be on everybody's radar right now, but he's going to be solid.
Pour one out for Johnny Smith.
Yeah, no crap.
He's a guy who just never got behind. Everybody loves him, but there's always a something.
It's always a something.
Always something.
Always something every day reminding me. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Today's the musical episode, evidently.
Mm-hmm.
Doug, you haven't gotten musical yet.
Yeah, he did.
No.
When I said he was slipping on Waller, he went with some song that I'd never heard of before instead of Slip Sliding Away, which would have been an easy choice, Doug.
And as Chris
It's
said,
old school rap from
I know.
when you guys were still in diapers.
As
Diaper
Chris said,
rap.
this is definitely a Mr. Noah Fant, tight end, University of Iowa, who still plays tight end in the NFL.
Deej, who's been texting you all day?
Those come through?
Yeah,
Yeah.
can you turn it down? It's like blistering my eardrum.
Is there a way to do that?
No,
There isn't a way to turn it down?
not that I'm aware of.
Oh.
Oh,
I can turn it off, maybe. Yeah, I turned it off for you guys. Sorry about that.
that's
Turn
okay.
it up.
Maybe if you put it in one of those focus modes where you say, I don't get text messages during this hour and a half.
Well, people send me fantasy football questions.
Let's check the question sheet, shall we? There's one in here from Cousin Bo. So that will be our reminder to get your questions in before we head off to the next segment. So Jordan, I know you're out there. Send them. Who else is out there? One of the high school baseball players that we used to cover, whose name is escaping me. Scudder, thank you. Know you're out there too. DeVries, you've sent one in before. I'm just calling people out now. Send in your questions, and we will take them on the other side, on the flip side. DJ, that's your cue.
Yeah, I'm trying to get back to that screen. I apologize.
Say things.
Bad
with
Boys
words.
Pizza isn't why my commercials were hard to find. Bad Boys Pizza isn't hard to find. Now serving in 3 different locations: Moline, Davenport, and downtown Davenport at River Music Experience. The restaurant and bar stays open late, not only on the weekends, but weekdays too. Bad Boys specializes in Quad City style pizza and daily specials, so be sure to keep an eye out for those. They also offer carry-out and pizza delivery options at your convenience. They have a full bar at all 3 locations with 24 taps in Moline, 32 taps in Davenport, 20 in downtown Davenport. They also host exciting events such as Quad City Storm parties, NFL Sunday ticket giveaways, and other sports viewing parties. Bad Boys always has the coldest beer, and the atmosphere is always welcoming. For great people, drinks, and Quad City style pizza, choose Bad Boys. It's Sunday Fun Day over at Frick's Tap. Iowa's second oldest bar is guaranteed to have your favorite team on one of their 13 TV screens with NFL Sunday ticket. Get on into Frick's now, where they will be joined by Smoked Out Smokehouse every Sunday. And boy, does that menu look great. Barbecue smoked ribs, pork chops, wings, and you name it. You can get it during your favorite football game over at Frick's. So for Frick's sake, head into Frick's Tap, 1402 West 3rd Street, Davenport.
Frickety frack. I have not many bye week hell, just rolling the dice with random bumps. I call out Jordan, and all he's going to give me is random bumps.
It is a tough week, and I think like a lot of people this week are in the position where you don't really have options. There's not this or that guy. You're definitely starting that guy because so many, all these dudes are not playing this week. So think about
These dudes.
all these dudes.
You like
So you
these
might-
nuts?
Huh?
Nothing. What? Now my wife's scolding me from upstairs. Where's Chris so we can do the this or that? All right, so week 7 questions. Since we don't have any, we're going to just go straight with Cousin Bo's. TD Heavy pick 2. Bobby Trees, Tyler Lockett, Michael Pittman. First 2.
Yeah, Woods Lockett.
DJ even had like a song in his like title right here in the header.
I'm here without you, baby.
It was between that and bye, and Phil already used bye. So
Aww.
Bye, 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 bye. Oh, that's what we should have done. We should have done the bye from. I was going to find that clip from Ted Lasso. Bye clip from Ted Lasso.
I thought it was going to be Doug doing Bye Bye Birdie because that's right about his speed.
That is right about my speed. Musical theater kid. Cousin Bo also wants pick 2 flex. Damien Harris, Elijah Mitchell, Devontae Booker.
Mitchell has the most upside of those 3, I would say.
that's
who's your other one?
the Harris Mitchell.
I'm going Mitchell Booker. And Chris is just going to play Mitchell twice.
Yep.
All right. So DJ wants me to trade him a wide receiver, and Gunner wants him to trade Justin Fields. Neither of those are going to happen. Alex Collins or Brian Edwards. I'm going Collins. Chris.
I'll go with I'll go with Alex Collins. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, or Ross Dwelly is also a choice.
Pass.
Yep. Yeah. Collins is the correct answer there. All right. Anybody else? Bueller? Jordan wants Bateman or Edwards.
I like Edwards with no Waller.
Yeah, I like Edwards too. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Agreed. All right. Let's rock and roll with the rapid fires. Better revenge game, Stafford, Goff, Nuke, or David Johnson? Nuke?
Stafford.
Nuke. For sure.
More passing yards, Patrick Mahomes or Ryan Tannehill? Is that really a question?
Did you read it?
Don't get smart with me. Chris?
Mahomes.
Okay. More receiving yards, Scary Terry or Devontae Adams?
Adams.
Correct. More rushing yards, Joe Mixon or Lamar Jackson?
Tough one.
Mixon,
Lamar.
but only if Jamar Chase is blocking for him. Top scoring week 7 quarterback, Kyler.
Damn it, Doug. I'll go Mahomes.
That's what I was going to do. Let's go Lamar.
All right. Rookie fever, more fantasy points, Zach Wilson or Mac Jones? Mac Jones.
Yeah.
What were those choices? Mac Jones and
Zach, Wilson.
Ouch. Jones.
Kyle Pitts over under 49.5 receiving yards against Miami.
Over.
I'm gonna
Under.
Over. I'm gonna go over. More rushing yards, Daniel Jones or Sam Darnold?
Jones.
For sure, Jones.
Jones with more yards. Darnold gets the touchdown.
I got
Roll Tide. Roll
I got a
Tide.
bad fantasy question for you. Ryan Tannehill or Daniel Jones? Who are you starting of these knuckleheads?
Tannehill.
Uh,
Hey, one of my quarterback options in one league are Jared Goff or DJ Jarvis. So
Start DJ.
Yeah. Hey, Jordan, who are you starting this week? Is Zach Williams now the Mormon McNown instead of the Mormon Mahomes? Yes, he is.
That's pretty funny.
That is funny.
What do you think of Rashad Bateman? Last week, 4 receptions, 6 targets, 29 yards. Do you think he grows as he's kind of just getting into the game more coming off that injury?
Yeah. I think he's probably the most talented wide receiver they've got on that team.
Oh, that's taking a shot at DJ and his love of Hollywood.
I didn't say by a lot, but he still is the most talented guy.
For sure. He's big and fast.
Yes. And he's a Big Ten product.
Jordan wants to know if he should start Geno Smith or Jordan Rangel this week.
That one's a toss-up. That one might actually be a true coin flip. All right. More receiving yards, Devontae Smith or Henry Ruggs?
Read the whole thing, Doug.
Don't
I
do it,
did.
Doug.
I said Roll Tide 4 times and you kept interrupting me. So now you just get the back half.
It was Chris that interrupted you, not me.
I don't care.
I didn't interrupt.
Y'all the same. You both
What?
fuzzy on the screen. It's still Smith.
Yeah, Smith.
Top scoring week 7 top scoring week 7 running back, and that is one Derrick Henry.
Oh, I said first. I'm more right than you.
That is factually incorrect.
Oh. Jeez. Alex Collins.
Watch Chris be right. Chris, if you're right, I will buy you lunch.
Yay, lunch for me.
All right, Matthew Stafford, over under 291.5 passing yards against the Lions.
Under, they're just going to crush him, and he's not going to pass the ball a lot.
Yeah, when you're up 31 in the third quarter, I don't think they're going to have to keep passing.
Yeah, unless they've got like some big numbers in there.
And then Goff's going to backdoor cover minus 19 or plus 19.
Probably. Sounds about right. Yes, I will also take the under. Tampa Bay defense over under 7 sacks. That's a big number.
How many didn't Myles Garrett have 7?
No.
It's
Cleveland
6.
might have had 7 total. I don't think it's going to be quite that bad.
Is a franchise record, was it 5 or was it 6?
I think it was 6.
So it was 6 just for him.
Yeah.
I'll take the over.
Under, yeah. Plus, Nagy finally admitted that week that they basically like threw him to the wolves and like didn't give him any help with those. With
You mean running empty every single time isn't a good idea, Doug?
Yeah. All right, where are we? More rushing yards, David Johnson or Chase Edmonds? Edmonds.
Yeah, I'll go with Edmonds.
Jonathan Taylor, over under 67.5 rushing yards.
Over.
I'm going to go under, just to be crazy. Top scoring week 7 wide receiver, that's Nuke.
Adams.
I want to pick Adams, too. Yeah, I'm going to go with Adams.
All right. More total yards, Jameis or Geno?
Jameis. Jordan Rangel.
Geno.
Jordan Rangel is the correct answer. Here's a better question. More interceptions, Jameis or Geno?
Zach
Geno.
Wilson.
Just for that game. Zach Wilson's going to fly down to Big Easy and throw two picks.
He's on the sideline throwing interceptions.
He gets picked off at the gate at the airport. Top scoring wide receiver in Tampa Bay, Chicago.
Godwin.
Yeah, I feel like Godwin's the right answer there.
Yeah, I think that's There's nobody else.
Which, of course, it'll be like, what's his face? The fast guy from Chicago.
Oh, Little Miller? Scotty?
No, from Chicago.
Oh, yeah. Marquise Goodwin, Doug, is that?
Yeah, Marquise Goodwin. Yes, yeah, that'll be it. It'll be a slugfest, and he'll get loose for like a 79-yard touchdown, and that'll be like the big play of the day. But the Bears will still lose like 24-7 or something.
Yeah, he got their one touchdown. Thanks, Doug. I have a lot to look forward to in that game now.
Yes, you're welcome. National Tight End Day, top scoring week 7 tight end.
Kelsey.
I want to say Hawkinson, but I just read off all those ugly numbers that tell me that's not going to be true. Screw it. Hawkinson.
Pitts.
You're the Pitts, Doug.
I am the Pitts. My wife will tell you that. All right. Last question. Who is the tight end GOAT?
Gronk.
Gonzalez.
That is correct. Tony Gonzalez.
Not even the best Kansas City Chief tight end of all time.
Yeah, because he was better on other teams.
Yeah, he's way better than Kelsey ever dreams of being. He can actually block.
We should get. Oh, don't even go there with me. We should get a Nate on here because Nate will destroy your face with his Travis Kelce love.
Over the greatest tight end of all time?
Nate will definitely say Travis Kelce is the greatest tight end of all time.
There's an argument to be made, but I don't think so.
I disagree. Not only do I disagree, I'm tagging Nate in the chat.
Would I lie?
I almost took Dallas Clark.
Hookers.
I just liked what he did. He had one of the best quarterbacks of all time backing him up. Kelsey hasn't had that most of his career.
I love how you just are tagging Nate and not even saying words.
I'm still working on the tagging thing. I'm an old man.
I'm going to see if I can go through because Nate did send me his list of his greatest tight ends of all time.
Yeah, you'll never find it.
His top 10.
You'll never find that.
You're right, because Nate and I talk about Travis Kelce a lot. So
you guys talk all the time. That's why I'm saying you'll never find it.
Is Gronk in this conversation?
Gronk is in the conversation.
I think Gronk is the best.
What about Antonio Gates?
Top 10.
He's in the team picture?
He's in the team picture.
Is he on the Mount
Gonzalez
Rushmore?
1, Gates 2, Gronk 3. The guy who's even before my time from San Diego, I can't think of his name.
Kellen Winslow?
Yeah, Winslow's probably 4. Jimmy Graham's probably 5.
Yeah, there's only this guy who's now going to have twice as many consecutive 1,000-yard seasons than any tight end in NFL history.
The league is different, DJ. You understand that. It's more of a passing league than it's ever been. Tony Gonzalez played in a time where a tight end wasn't really expected to make a whole lot of catches.
Nate agrees with you, but I disagree with you, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, but not even to put him in the top 5 is kind of a miscarriage of justice.
Okay. Caveat. Nate says he's 1B, and OJ Howard is 1A, of course. So
1A in his heart. What about Witten? Doug, you were a Dallas fan for a long time. Is Witten on Mount Rushmore, or is he in a top 10?
Oh, he's in the top 10. I would say he's probably, in that 6 to 8-ish range.
So,
wait, were you thinking of Dave Casper? No, he was on the Raiders. Never mind. You were thinking of Winslow. Yeah.
Deej said it.
Yeah, I know.
It was Winslow.
All right, Doug, send us home on this great National Tight End Day.
When is kicker day? We'll get when's kicker day so we can get Linda back on here.
Ask Linda. She could probably tell you.
Okay. I will check in with Miss Godfrey. All right. So that will do it. We want to thank our primary sponsor, Mobile Party Experience, for hosting this nonsense that we put out every week. Please try and survive this week without inebriating yourself too terribly much, because it's going to get ugly like DJ out there. All right. So for the aforementioned ugly DJ and for Killer Chris, I am Doug, and we will see you guys next week.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Yeah, see you guys. See you next week. Bye, everybody. My name's Paul.